Frost Arena has always been a very special place.
It's probably hard to describe for someone that hasn't been to Frost.
You know, it's not the biggest arena. It's an arena, though, that has a great atmosphere for fans.
It's very unique in how this facility was built in that you can get a lot of people in, but they're not that far away from the court.
So if you come to a game, you feel like you could reach out and be in the action yourself as a fan.
As we ran out to the floor, you looked up into that sea of blue and yellow, and it just kind of gave you a calmness.
The energy that they create for our team is immeasurable.
To get them cheering for you, you just want to play that much harder.
When the crowd was in there like it was most nights, it was just unbeatable.
Every time I laced up to go out there and play with my teammates, we always felt that we were going to win at home, no matter what.
It just creates such a strong emotion in this building that I don't know that I've seen in any other place we've ever played in.
As I've gotten away from there, I've been able to talk to coaches that played against us when we were at Frost. They just talked about how much they hated going there. It was a very difficult place for opponents to win.
This is a tough place to play for visitors because there's not 50 feet between the bench and the first row of seats. You feel like everybody's right on top of you, and this cacophony of noise just builds and there's no escaping it.
We led the nation several years in attendance in Division II, and we always had great attendance in Division I. It just is an important piece to be able to go into an arena where you have a lot of people pulling for you. It's a big advantage.
Guys would just whisper and just come out and flat out ask me, "You guys play in front of crowds like this all the time?" And I shake my head and be like, yeah, it's unbelievable.
Well, back in 1997, I actually had the opportunity to play in Frost Arena as part of the Wayne State squad, and we ended up losing by 3 points. It is an extremely hard place to play.
When this place opened in 1973, it was a Taj Mahal. I mean, you could find a way to get 9,000 people in here because so much of it was just wooden bleachers from top to bottom.
We probably got a few more people in here than were actually fire code, well over 10,000. Well, in the early days when the team sat on the front row or first row of the bleachers, fans were directly behind you. And so often, as you called timeout and came to the huddle, they would be leaning over. Sometimes their heads between the players' heads to kind of hear what was happening.
The most memorable games for me at Frost Arena were the rivalry games with USD and Augie. They produced so much energy and electricity on game day. You knew in those games that Coach Nagy was going to bring out the blue blazer.
Well, probably the one that sticks out the most is when we were playing the quarterfinals with Cal Poly, and basically the gym was full. And when we came out on the floor, I mean, you just got shivers down your back.
One of the biggest ones early in my second year there, we played Fort Hays State in the finals of the regionals.
And so they came into town as the #1 ranked team in the nation, and I'll never forget the people. The crowd stood every possession. So every possession we went back on defense, that crowd stood. I think we ended up beating them by 18 or 20 points, and it was Frost Arena not letting us lose.
My senior night game, which was a very emotional night for me. My parents were there, my whole family was, and then being able to obviously play one last time in front of all the home fans in Brookings was something that I'll never forget.
I won my first and last game at Frost. I don't know what that says, but I'm proud to say that. I walked in on a good note and I left on a good note.
The other moment that comes to my mind was on senior night for Doug Wilson, who was a terrific jackrabbit, and him just walking out and remembering the memories that he had, and then his son being a part of it was really, really special.
My most fond memory of Frost Arena was our women winning the WNIT a year ago. Unbelievable atmosphere, competing against top-ranked Bowl Championship Series teams.
The one moment that I think really still stands out to me is after we won our Division II national title. And we came back to Brookings after that, and we're going to have a welcoming here in Frost Arena. And our team was kind of waiting outside the door, and as we're coming in, that chant of "Let's go Rabbits" kind of starts going. And even though that wasn't an actual game, that was probably one of the most exciting moments to walk into the building and really share a cool memory with so many fans.
This place has so much history, and I love history. I love everything that Frost Arena is about. By the same token, in order for us to continue to grow as a university, as an athletic department, this place does need to be spruced up a little bit.
So Frost Arena will become First Bank and Trust Arena. Much like Coughlin Alumni Stadium became Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. It is very important to us to keep the feel of Frost Arena.
Yes, the arena will look different, but it's the same grounds. You know, you're going to walk in and it's the same spot that Nate Wolters hit that shot. Or you saw women's basketball players like Carlene Rose or Melissa Pater. It's the same spot.
We will have portions of First Bank and Trust Arena which certainly have items from Frost Arena and all of the moments from the past which made Frost Arena so awesome.
Frost Arena has a heartbeat to it, and it's had a huge impact in many, many lives here, both as fans and as student athletes, and I hope we can keep that heartbeat going.
Well, phase one of a 3-year renovation project is going on right now at Frost. It'll eventually have new suites and a new floor and a new name. Frost will become First Bank and Trust Arena in the fall of 2024.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.